I guess we farmed all our lives. I mean, ever since I was a little boy, you know, I was raised on a tobacco farm, and we farmed all our lives. And, you know, you too, right?
Yeah.
I worked with the man next door to us who had, starting out, he had a little over 60 acres, and I was 7 years old. Actually, I started before that, but 7 years old is my first memory, and I started handing leaves like every young person does in farming.
I wasn't fortunate enough to really be born into a farming family. I had uncles that farmed, and of course my great-grandparents farmed, and my grandparents farmed some. Ended up selling the farm, stuff like that. But I don't know how old I was. I was young, helping my uncle, cousins in the back of, you know, probably 8, 9 years old. Started out picking up tobacco, you know, when they were stringing it or housing it. At fall, you know, we'd pick it up as the kids and put it back up on the stringer. Or either, you know, when they were going through the fields priming, we'd, you know, fall in behind them and pick up what leaves they dropped. That's really how I started, really, not to say farming, but, you know, was introduced to it was through my uncle and cousins and stuff, family more or less.
And, you know, when I was small and farmed, my daddy, my grandfather always farmed. He was always out working in the tobacco. I mean, it was just a way of life for us. I started farming. My daddy never had a buck barn. My daddy, you know, I bought irrigation systems, I bought buck barns, and we got away from stick tobacco, stick barns. Of course, we still had stick barns too. We raised a lot of tobacco stick barns earlier years.
We can get paid. Got a moon pie sometimes, and a sun drop, and some nabs. As I got older, then I got some money. And of course, the older I got, the more money you got.
We used true slides, no wheels. We had tobacco slides, and we had 2 mules that we pulled the slides in the field with. And I can remember riding the mule. Everybody, when we got tractors, everybody wanted to be a tractor driver. Nobody wanted to prime, nobody wanted to hand, everybody wanted to drive a tractor, but that was usually left up to the farmer.
When we were farming, when I was little, we had a mule called Rhodey, and he would pull the slide up and down the rows while they primed tobacco.
Now the way farming is now, you know, I haven't farmed now in 10 years, so it's kind of hard for me to tell you what farming is going on today, but I wish I could have stayed in it. I loved it.
It's a lifestyle that's tough. It's probably not as hard as it was, I would say, as far as the actual labor involved. I think that may have become a little easier with pickers and things like that. But you still have to get it in the field, get it out of the field, get it properly cured, and get it sold to make $1. And it's a huge investment year to year. It's a huge gamble year to year. Some of the
Farming's changed. Like I said, I helped out friends and stuff farming and family. Now, you know, everybody had big families back in, and it was all family now. As the farming went on, they had to go out and hire people. It wasn't just the families farming; they had to go out and hire the migrant workers that come in every summer or stuff like that. Back before the government got involved, I think things was a whole lot better.
You know, every time you turn around, the government had their hands in it. You know, they limit you to how much tobacco you can plant every year. They tell you what fields you could plant in. You couldn't just plant wherever you wanted to. Like I said, I was the first one in my family to buy buck barns. Well, they don't like you curing tobacco in stick marks because you're curing over an open flame. And that had something to do with something about the nicotine and all in the tobacco. So we went to buck bars. Then you get buck bars. Buck bars are expensive. Even back then, buck bars was $18,000 a piece. But just a few years after that, the government says, okay, now you can't use those type cures no more. So now you got to change to this type cure. So to do that, then you're going to have to pay $4,000 a barn just to change the burners on them. And just every time you turn around, you know, the government's always told you what to do anyway. And they can control how much tobacco you plant, how many pounds per acre you could produce. And not only that, you know, you get in the warehouse, they had government graders. And, you know, these are all government people. They would go through and grade your tobacco. And whatever they said your tobacco was valued at is what you sold it at. You know, no matter how good your tobacco was, you had to depend totally on the government and what you got out of your tobacco.
I don't want to have to worry year to year about what my income is going to be.
At one time, I was going to quit public work and go into farming altogether. I'd already put ads in the paper for to buy some buck barns and lease some tobacco allotment, and also at least some more land. I bought a farm back in the 90s, early 90s, and it had a tobacco allotment on it, but I sold it. And I was going to get into it altogether, like I said, back in the late 90s, mid 90s, but because of government restrictions, them cutting back, they cut back one of my friends so bad that he had to get out of it, and therefore I wasn't able to get into it.
I guess the biggest reason I got out of it, or we got out of it, because of the restrictions that the government was putting on everything. Now I got a public job. I get up 3:30 in the morning. I leave at 4 o'clock in the morning. Don't never see the sunrise. And here it is now, 5:30. And I'm just not getting home today, and I'm tired. And don't make the money I made when I was farming.
You know, like I said, we were together more. We saw each other more.
Oh, all the time. We hardly ever see each other anymore.
So
I get here at 5:30. Time you eat supper, go out and feed the cows, what you got to do. Spend a couple of hours. Like I said, I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning. You go to bed early. We don't never have no time together. As far as the way all this is affecting my life, like I said, it's put me on punching somebody else's time clock. I don't like it one bit. If I could choose between my life now and the way it used to be, I'd go back to the way it used to be.
If I could go back, I'd like to be a farmer, you know, just all the time. I don't think that's going to happen. I just piddle around what I got now and be happy with what I got.
I guess if we had it to do over again,
Well, I would love to go back to farming today.
we would probably love to farm instead of doing what we're doing now, because it was more family oriented.
It was.
You had your kids with you, and
If I had the opportunity right now to go back to Wake County and farm, if it was 1980 again, and I had the same options that I had, and I could look into the future and see what I know now, there's no way that I would ever have chosen to take that option of running that farm.
I've never been as happy in my life as I was when I raised tobacco.
I enjoy being outside anyway. I got a friend that I helped him sometimes, and just to be helping because I enjoyed being out there helping him farm.
I just hope it's a lifestyle and a tradition that will stick around, and that somebody will have the courage to go out and keep this going. It's a tough life.